do me a favor, subscribe to my channel.
Hey everyone, Kyle here from Poseidon's Pets. I hope you guys are doing good. So if you're like me, you have a tank full of this stuff. So this is duckweed, and if you've ever had duckweed, it's known as the herpes of the aquarium world. So it basically takes over all of your tanks. So once it's in there, it's gonna cover the whole surface of the tank, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. You dip your arms in there, it gets stuck all over your arms, and most people just throw it away. So what I've been doing is I've been packaging up and actually selling it to people with goldfish and other fish that will eat it. But what I wanted to do was use it for myself and my tanks here. So I've done some research online, and I know a lot of people actually use it to make fish food. So what I'm gonna do for you guys today is I'm gonna try to make some fish food out of duckweed, and you can kind of see the process behind that and what I'm gonna do and what I add to it. There's quite a few different ways that you can do it. I know Mark from Mark Shrimp Tanks, he adds melaminite clay. I know I'm butchering that, and bee pollen to make shrimp food. So I'm actually gonna do it a little bit different. I wanna make a community type food or food for all of my fish. So, you know, I could give this to the shrimp, I could give this to the Oscars, I could give it to my community tank, any fish that I want to. So stick around, I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. Hey guys, before I get into it, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, leave me a comment down below. If you have made food with duckweed, I wanna know your process, I wanna know your success rate, what you've done with it. I know a lot of you have suggested this to me and that I should use my duckweed to make food, so here it is for you. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You know, that really does help me out a lot. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Thanks again. All right, so I got my stuff ready for you. So the main things that you're gonna need is your duckweed and then some kind of binding agent or powder form, some dry ingredient. What I'm using is just powdered fish food, and I've already pre-ground this up. This is actually what I feed to some of my fry. So you can use powdered spirulina, powdered spinach, anything that's gonna help bond to the wet material you have. So this is what I just harvested out of my tanks. I don't have a lot in there, but I do have some that I have harvested and frozen previously. So I've got quite a bit that I'm gonna use. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take some of this fish food and just turn it into a powder form. And if you have a coffee grinder, that works well. I found that my blender does a good job. So you wanna start with the dry ingredients first, otherwise this is just gonna get coated and nasty. Now when you take this off, try not to breathe that in. Yeah, that smells awful. So now that you have your dry ingredient base, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the wet ingredients. And I've noticed that snails like to hide out in this stuff. So just be careful that you don't have any snails in there. It would be unfortunate. Now this may blend without added liquid, but you may need to add a little bit of fish tank water to it to get it to go. So before adding any liquid, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna add a cucumber in there, because that's gonna give some added nutrients as well as some added liquid. Because the more liquid we add, the longer this is gonna take to dry out. Duckweed smoothie. Doesn't that look good? So I'm also going to add some vitamins to it. This is Seachem Zoo Plankton, and we're gonna do a full cap of this, a full cap of Seachem's Vitality for vitamin C, and then just a few drops of Boyd's Vitachem. So now that we have our wet ingredients, we're gonna go ahead and add our dry ingredients and mix it all together. Now I've seen people use flour for this, but if you know me and my beliefs on fish food, I don't feel like you should have a lot of flour. You should have a lot of that yeast. You want it to be as close to nature as possible. So Northfin doesn't have a lot of fillers in it. It's really good ingredients. It's packed full of vitamins. So using this as a filler, I feel like this is my best option for what I have on hand. It smells awful. So you can see here that it's still pretty runny. So I'm gonna need some more dry ingredients. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more of the powdered fish food. Yeah, that's definitely a better texture, look at that. Now you just need a baking sheet and some parchment paper. And start spreading it out. Does that smell good today? So now that I have it all spread out, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my oven on to 170 for about 5 minutes. And I'm gonna let it heat up for a little bit. I don't want it to get to 170 because that's gonna be way too hot. What I wanna do is just create a warm, dry environment that I can put this in. And then I'm actually gonna let it dry for a few days so that way it gets harder and all the moisture evaporates. All right guys, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry. And then on my next video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how it turned out, and then I'm gonna show you a feeding video as well. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. You know, if you like me, you like my fish, you like my videos, hit that subscribe button. So once again, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.